And the weird part is Chris McDonough's been trying to interview me over and over. The last time he was here, he come through twice in like a week or two period. And he literally, they thought, I guess, or one of them had stalked me, but they knew I was going to oncology. I posted a video, I think, where I was getting my infusions a couple weeks ago. And so they were stalking me, and he was parked outside of the oncology in Kingsport office thinking that's where I was. How in the fuck they know my oncologist was there, dude? And he was just, literally, I got the message, I'm parked outside of oncology. Excuse the fuck out of me, but they had the wrong one. I was at the one in Johnson City. He was just going to jump out on me and force it. Then I caught him lying to me about going to talk to Lawson that day and all these other things, and I didn't feel good, and he kept trying to push it so he could, like, bum rush me with an interview, right? Because I kind of, it did coincide. My mom and mother were both sick. My mother ends up in the ER. When I get back here from oncology, she's gone. I didn't think anything about it. And then my mom calls and goes, Mother's in the hospital. I was like, what the fuck? And this was in the middle when he's telling Chris that I was home, but I didn't feel good. I was going to rest. You know, since he was going to be in town for a couple days, he could fuck off. But instead, he was like, well, I'll be here in a minute. I'll be here no matter what I said. And I think he thinks I lied to him. But, man, that right there, you just don't show up stalking my ass, knowing somehow where my other oncologist is, and out in the parking lot waiting on me after. The weird part is Chris McDonough's been trying to interview me over and over. The last time he was here, he come through twice in like a week or two period. And he literally, they thought, I guess, or one of them had stalked me, but they knew I was going to oncology. I posted a video, I think, where I was getting my infusions a couple weeks ago. And so they were stalking me, and he was parked outside of the oncology in Kingsport office thinking that's where I was. How in the fuck they know my oncologist was there, dude? And he was just, literally, I got the message, I'm parked outside of oncology. Excuse the fuck out of me, but they had the wrong one. I was at the one in Johnson City. He was just going to jump out on me and force it. Then I caught him lying to me about going to talk to Lawson that day and all these other things, and I didn't feel good, and he kept trying to push it so he could, like, bum rush me with an interview, right? Because I kind of, it did coincide. My mom and mother were both sick. My mother ends up in the ER. When I get back here from oncology, she's gone. I didn't think anything about it. And then my mom calls and goes, Mother's in the hospital. I was like, what the fuck? And this was in the middle when he's telling Chris that I was home, but I didn't feel good. I was going to rest. You know, since he was going to be in town for a couple days, he could fuck off. But instead, he was like, well, I'll be here in a minute. I'll be here no matter what I said. And I think he thinks I lied to him. But, man, that right there, you just don't show up stalking my ass, knowing somehow where my other oncologist is, and out in the parking lot waiting on me after.
One second, guys. Can you guys hear me? There's only a few here. I don't know if. Can someone please let me know if you can hear me? So, I had this conversation right after Jody Sue and I got our papers with chicken on a stick. I didn't listen to this whole conversation the whole time we were talking because my mind, I was angry. Um she was talking, I was listening, but I guess I wasn't comprehending what she was saying to me. So I know my community posts today, they seem outrageous. I'm going to go through them and I'm going to try my best to explain things the best way I know possible without, I guess, saying certain names. Okay? Actually, I don't even know if I'm going to do all that. I'm kind of winging this here, trying to figure out what it is I want to say because I feel I may have figured something out. Do I know if it's true? No. I'm a speculation channel. It just so happens that this part of the speculation includes me. For what reason, I have no idea, right? So, honestly, since the chicken on a stick shit, I pretty much been on a mission to like figure this whole thing out. Because the marathon, the billboards, that was something I wanted to research way back then. And I'm putting things together and I'm figuring out who was involved and I'm going back and listening to things as I'm making videos. Jody Sue did tell me something that I just caught on to, okay? As I was making the video I just made, which I'm going to replay again in just a minute. What I'm doing here is I'm asking people to open their eyes, look at all the confusion that has gone on surrounding Summerall's case, and figure out where it began from. I guess. I don't know how to put into words what I'm doing. Actually, I'm really nervous for tonight's live because, like, I know I sound nuts. You know what I mean? Like, this is just not normal. But Chris CM's involvement in this case is really, really fishy. Like, when is enough enough? How far is too far? Let me give this thought. Chris McDonough, as a police officer, knows how things work in court, right? How many of you guys are true crime junkies, and how many times have you heard you have the right to an attorney? You have a right to remain silent while watching true crime cases. Chris McDonough, as a police officer, knows what hinders an investigation. He knew if he went and put these parents on social media that their testimony to what they say could hinder an investigation as to what they told the feds. He was the first bigger YouTube channel to reach out to the police officers in Hawkins County. I think we have to question this. Yeah, I think he is too, Trudy. It just doesn't make sense why him, as somebody who has worked. Okay, here's an example. You have Duty Ron, you have Police Off the Cuff. You don't see them running to crime scenes to cover it with their police officer experience. They're professional. They allow no bullshit. They've had EquiSearch on. You've listened to EquiSearch. They ask professional questions. But here's Chris McDonough putting his 2 cents in when it comes to serious implications against people that could be involved in Summer Wells' case, right? Um, Again, him being a police officer, someone of law enforcement, he knows how it works when these cases go to trial, right? So he knows what things could put a hindrance into a case. He's educated on that. Yeah, he has, Trudy. 100%. And he's caused a lot of confusion between creators. Listen, I know a lot of people don't like Doug, okay? I'm not fond of him either. And I'm going to tell you, it has nothing to do with Chris McDonough. It has nothing to do with Benny. What it has to do with is the fact that Doug gets on here and he talks about children that may have been put into a selling of situation. But in the same sentence, he can bring up some real nasty sexual content. Like you're covering a missing child. That shouldn't even be a part of the conversation. However, I'm getting there, Trudy. However, um, he still dumped Doug like a hot sack of potatoes when Doug got too hot for him. He didn't take up for Doug when he had all of Doug's back with Josh, and he took Josh with him, Doug's friend. You got to think about that. Putting a wrench between certain situations in YouTube that he had no business because we are not experienced police officers, right? So Trudy brings up a good point here that I was going to get to. He got Dawn's sisters involved just to get more money. Now, look, y'all know how I feel about fucking Tiffany Marie, right? There's a lot about this Chris McDonough shit that I can't talk about. Some of it involves her. My own personal opinion, I think Tiffany Marie was used by Chris McDonough. But that's as far as I'm going to elaborate on it. Okay, so where was I? Oh, the sisters. So Dawn's sisters, I think, are victims of Dawn when they were younger. However, in my opinion, I'm speculating here. The way I see things, Chris McDonough exploited that. Okay? That is one thing that doesn't have to do with another. That is something that happened 40 years ago. In my opinion, Mary continues, for some reason, to keep going to Josh and Chris. Why? Because I feel like Mary owes something to them. They got her cooking channel. They got her seen and known. They made her feel special. That's just my opinion. Okay? So Mary continues to go to their channels and talk. However, Jeannie and Trish have remained extremely quiet. Tiffany Marie, I believe, in some instances, still talks to them. I've had one conversation with Jeannie, and I'm going to tell you she's a beautiful person. I believe her story 100%. However, I believe that was 40 years ago. And Chris knew how complicated it would be to get charges pressed against Dawn, but still inserted himself. There's a reason Chris doesn't like Dawn. Do I know what that is? No. Thank you, Trudy. Do I know what that is? No. But I know it all seems fishy. Now, recent events, after watching Chris and Josh last night, there's a lot of things I agree with that Chris says because he is a police officer and he knows the law and he talks like a cop. I'm not a police officer. I've never been involved in being any kind of law enforcement officer, agency, anything like that. However, I posted in my community post earlier that I have a brother. No, I'm in my 40s. This was in 2009. It was a long time ago. Who was involved, and I'm not going to get too much into my life because that isn't what I want this to be about. But my brother was involved in a murder. Okay. He was the bad guy. Is he a bad guy today? No. And that's why I'm not going to go into this. However, I've gone through the judicial proceedings with him. I know, like, I sort of know, like, the adjudication process and things of that nature. Hunter is still underage. He's 17. Last night, in my opinion, Chris McDonough approached the situation of Hunter as if Hunter was an adult then. He didn't take into consideration the fact that Hunter has a medical condition, ADHD. He admitted that it was while he was in his very first interview with Chris McDonough. Hunter, in my opinion, in the first interview with Chris McDonough, looked very uncomfortable to me. It looked scripted to me. It looked like he was scared. It was only a month after Summer had gone missing, like a month and a half, maybe two. So still very early on in the investigation is what to happen to Summer. So many questions. And Chris McDonough was already pushing the narrative. Like, again, I have to question as a police officer, why the hell are you doing that? Why are you inserting yourself into a case that far to the point that you would go to the family's house, show their deplorable conditions, which, I don't know whether Dawn and Candace is guilty, and I've said this before. I personally believe their house could have been cleaner. Here, we'll just leave it at that. It was said, not by me, Jeannie is a witness for Summer. Rachel, I've had personal conversations with Jeannie, and I don't believe that. Listen, Jeannie's beautiful, and she wanted to keep private about a lot of stuff. The only thing I've spoken about that Jeannie and I has spoken about in this whole 2 years is Dawn's dad's credit card, right? And the information of it being stolen and somebody's involvement in that. Again, I have to be careful what I say, right? But just thinking of that right there, I don't know. It's just confusing to me. And I'm asking people. Chris said, God forbid anyone judge you, to Candace, then turned around and directed the narrative. Exactly. Exactly. And I'm looking at this as, like Lawson said, everybody's guilty, right? And I've had these personal conversations with Jody Sue. Yeah. She has told me I don't know how to say this. She has told me names and steps of the way things had happened. Okay, while we were talking about this conversation with Chris McDonough. So, Jody, if you want to know what I'm talking about and you're confused, I implore you, you said you recorded this conversation between us as well. I implore you to go listen to the parts right after this conversation that you and I had. Um, but anyways, I really would like you guys to listen to the stalking. And I believe Jody Sue. I'm going to be honest with you. There's a lot of things like I feel the narrative has been pushed. And I do want to show, I know I've been pushing my video I put out yesterday, but I feel like a lot of people aren't paying attention. I don't feel it's getting enough views. Not that I want views, clicks, and likes or anything like that, because I did not monetize that video, because I feel it is important for people to hear. And I feel it's important for other directions. I feel it's important that people look at things that were being pushed to the side. Here's something I want to say before I play this again, because it's going to take me off topic and I don't want to do that. So I want to say it and get back to what I was saying. Fred Hill is in jail. Fred Hill has admitted to being investigated for 2 murders. Keep that in mind. When I play the video, I'm going to play in a little bit, but not right this minute. Okay, let's go back to this video and the story Jody Sue told me about Chris McDonough. I mean, in my opinion, this is a whole stalker ass situation.
The weird part is Chris McDonough's been trying to interview me over and over. The last time he was here, he come through twice in like a week or two period. And he literally, they thought, I guess, or one of them had stalked me. But they knew I was going to oncology. I had posted a video, I think, where I was getting my infusions a couple weeks ago. And
on that day, Jody Sue posted a very heartfelt video. You guys should go watch it. I'm not going to share it because it's her content. But this is the day she's talking about she went to oncology.
so they were stalking me, and he was parked outside of the oncology in Kingsport office thinking that's where I was. How in the fuck they know my oncologist was there, dude? And he was just, literally, I got the message, I'm parked outside of oncology. Excuse the fuck out of me, but they had the wrong one. I was at the one in Johnson City. He was just going to jump out on me and force it. Then I caught him lying to me about going to talk to Lawson that day and all these other things, and I didn't feel good, and he kept trying to push it so he could, like, bum rush me with an interview, right? Because I kind of, it did coincide. My mom and mother were both sick. My mother ends up in the ER. When I get back here from oncology, she's gone. I didn't think anything about it. And then my mom calls and goes, Mother's in the hospital. I was like, what the fuck? And this was in the middle of me telling Chris that I was home, but I didn't feel good. I was going to rest. You know, since he was going to be in town for a couple days, he could fuck off, but instead he was like, well, I'll be here in a minute. I'll be here no matter what I said. And I think he thinks I lied to him. But, man, that right there, you just don't show up stalking my ass, knowing somehow where my other oncologist is, and out in the parking lot waiting on me after. The part is Chris McDonough's been trying to interview me over and over. The last time he was here, he come through twice in like a week or two period. And he literally, they thought, I guess, or one of them had stalked me. But they knew I was going to oncology. I had posted a video, I think, where I was getting my infusions a couple weeks ago. And So they were stalking me, and he was parked outside of the oncology in Kingsport office, thinking that's where I was. How in the fuck they know my oncologist was there, dude? And he was just literally. I got the message. I'm parked outside of oncology.
Now, hold on one second, guys. Got another fucking cold. Can't believe it. Don't know where it came from. Sorry. I've been coughing like for a couple days. My daughter in law's family has COVID, so I'm worried a little bit right now. Sorry. Okay. Anyways, listening to that part right there, the whole fact that this man is hunting people down in Summer's case to interview them gives me the heebie jeebies. He's not anybody on the case. He is now considering himself a YouTuber. He's retired. Okay, I get it. He's in the Cold Case Foundation. Hallelujah. Right? Like amazing. So if you're in the Cold Case Foundation, Mr. McDonough, may I kindly ask you, why are you following the Koberger case? That's not a cold case. Why are you involved in Summer Wells' case? That's not a cold case. I did stop that handwriter. When Penny brought her out, man, oh my God, there's so much I wish I could say that I can't. I just can't at this moment. You guys need to understand that. But do your research. Go see who that handwriter worked for. Yeah, minors too. We're getting to that. Oh, we're getting to that. Because what's going on my heart right now? Now, I put in my community post, I would, if Jody Sue wants to join, or if Andrew wants to join, they could, but I didn't see Andrew had posted an update. I don't know if everybody's seen it, but Allie has taken a turn for the worst. Pray for her. Pray for Hunter. Pray for their family. That's horrible. And it's even more horrible that two creators would get on here and even during a time like this decide that it's okay to attack. And then for a cop, a police officer to get on here and think that it is okay to attack, to say things, to even at this moment, while his mother, who Chris McDonough interviewed, is sick in the hospital. Nobody really knows what's going on with her. Who cares about what the reason she's there? Who cares about that Hunter's even her kid? She has other children that were not involved in the conversation of what happened to Summer Wells on June 15th, 2021. It is disgusting that a police officer would even do what he did last night, in my opinion. So that's why I'm speaking on this. To watch him. Oh, yeah, Hunter's being honest. Hunter's being honest. I didn't even watch the whole damn thing yet. To be honest with you, I didn't even watch Josh's review of it. It was Jody Sue's review that I was watching, which we're going to go over because I couldn't even get through after one part. And it was a little part. It doesn't make sense why this man, who is a ex-police officer involved in the Cold Case Foundation that has ties to certain bigger agencies, would be this deeply involved in the case of Summer Wells, doing what super sleuths do. This shit has been going on for years. In my opinion, I am speculating that Chris McDonough wants to be a superstar and not an ex-cop. You don't stalk people at their fucking doctor's appointments while their mother's having a heart attack. What the fuck is the matter with you? And no, I'm not monetizing this stream. One more time, because I interrupted that.
The weird part is Chris McDonough's been trying to interview me over and over. The last time he was here, he come through twice in like a week or two period. And he literally, they thought, I guess, or one of them had stalked me, but they knew I was going to oncology. I posted a video, I think, where I was getting my infusions a couple weeks ago. And
cancer infusions. Jody Sue is a cancer patient, no matter whether she's a witness, a suspect, a YouTuber. She is somebody with documented proof. Family members that have come out and spoken that this woman has cancer. You disgusting, disgusting man, you.
so they were stalking me, and he was parked outside of the oncology in Kingsport office, thinking that's where I was. How in the fuck they know my oncologist was there, dude? And he was just literally, I got the message, I'm parked outside of oncology. Excuse the fuck out of me, but they had the wrong one. I was at the one in Johnson City. He was just gonna jump out on me and force it. Then I caught him lying to me about going to talk to Lawson that day and all these other things, and I didn't feel good, and he kept.
Why is he even telling Jody Sue he talked to Lawson? I would like to know what that conversation and context was about. Jody Sue, if you go live tonight, I would like you to answer that, please. Can you tell us the context in which Chris McDonough was talking to you about Lawson? Because that shouldn't be happening. You're a part of an investigation. Regardless of what part you are, they questioned you. Chris McDonough had no right to question you. None whatsoever. He was hindering Summer's case, in my opinion, respectfully.
Trying to push it so he could like bum rush me with an interview, right? Because I kind of it did coincide. My mom and mother were both sick. My mother ends up in the ER. When I get back here from oncology, she's gone. I didn't think anything about it. And then my mom calls and goes, "Mother's in the hospital." I was like, "What the fuck?" And this.
I think she meant to say her sister called, not her mother. I believe her sister called and told her mother was in the hospital. Her mother got very sick during all of this. Like, what the fuck? What's wrong with him?
She's in the middle, and he telling Chris that I was home, but I didn't feel good. I was going to rest. You know, since he was going to be in town for a couple days, he could fuck off. But instead, he was like, "Well, I'll be here in a minute. I'll be here no matter what I said." And I think he thinks so.
So Jody Sue didn't disagree to meet with him. Okay? She agreed to speak to him. Are you listening to this? She just told him not today a couple of times, like this time ain't good, that time isn't good. She goes to her doctor's appointment. He's there stalking her. He's continuing to call her. She gets home, finds out her mother is in the hospital, just had a heart attack, and this man is still stalking her. Just like he did to Hunter yesterday. He's a cop. Common sense can tell anybody that watches this shit that that's illegal. I am begging any attorney that is on here to take Jody Sue pro bono and do what she needs done.
I lied to him. But man, that right there, you just don't show up stalking my ass, knowing somehow where my other oncologist is, and out in the parking lot waiting on me after.
Guys, I'm sorry. I cannot share more of this conversation I had with Jody Sue. But I do feel it's necessary for Jody Sue to come out here and be able to speak about what she's been through since the beginning of this case without nobody attacking her, with open eyes and people listening to her. All right, we're going to drop this before I get myself in trouble. Let me remove this. I would like to go over Chris McDonough and Josh's interview last night. Recall going over. The problem is, I don't want to get struck. I don't want to make it like I'm attacking somebody. So, I'm not going to do that tonight. However, I have not gone over all of Jody Sue's live as she went over that from last night. I think the next time I come live, I'm going to go over that. However, I have flipped my script tonight, and I would like to go to my channel and show you guys this video I spoke about earlier. Give me 1 minute here. Remove that. I think it's important for people to see how there could be other suspects in this case. I think because of Chris McDonough's foolery in this case, a lot of things have been missed. Things have been misconstrued. Witness intimidation could have caused witnesses, Jody Sue Brown, to not come forward with information she may have known or may have missed. We've sat for months and listened to Jody Sue go, and I don't mean to laugh, but we've listened to Jody Sue go, the missing piece. The dogs have always, there's something with them dogs. It recently dawned on her. I want to watch a couple videos tonight. First, let's watch this one that I made, and then I want to go to JLR's video. I will pray JLR doesn't strike me. I think it will be good for JLR's channel that I bring it out, so we're going to re-listen to it. And then if you want, we can re-listen to this video. I could try to give you a better understanding without doxing people. Legally, we'll figure it out. Let's wing it, but let's watch.
Have you ever seen the residents at 125? So that'd be like Jody Sue, you know, and them. Jody.
This is Squall's question. Squall Tip. You know, Squall Tip. Of the hate, says Candace, will you allow Squall onto your Facebook so then she can help us all blackmail you? And this the other Squall Tip. And who has created some of the most chaos in Summer's case, Squall Tip. Alright, carrying on. And the worst shit to ever be pumped out in Summer's case and still exists online, and false suspects, she's created them. Alright, carrying on. So here's the question by Squall Tip.
Crew. Have you ever seen the residents at 125? So that'd be like Jody Sue, you know, and them. Jody Sue and crew. Have you ever seen them walking their dog before Summer went missing?
Yeah.
So Jody Sue would walk her dog?
Now Fred agrees. He goes, yeah, I've seen them walking their dog. Bullshit. I ain't never walked fucking dogs ever. Like that. Down there. Huh? I'm like, whatever. Okay, Fred. Carrying it.
No, she wasn't. I mean, I've seen them go and get it when.
Now it's a no. No, I've never seen them. I've seen her go and get it when it's gotten loose.
Got loose and stuff.
I'd be like Jody Sue, you know, supposedly friendly with Andy Bernard, right?
Yeah.
Have you ever seen the residents at 125? So that'd be like Jody Sue, you know, and them. Jody Sue and crew. Have you ever seen them walking their dog before someone went missing?
Yeah.
So Jody Sue would walk her dog?
No, she wasn't. I mean, I've seen them go and get it when it got loose and stuff. Run away.
I've seen them go and get it when it gets loose or runs away. Now here's the thing. Just wait for it.
But you've never seen them actually take it for a walk?
No. And the dog that they had on leash.
But he just says, yes. He said, yes, he had seen us take it for a walk. But then it was no. I see him when it gets loose or whatever, implying it's tied up. Okay.
The night Summer went missing, they had stole it.
Dog?
No, she wasn't. I mean, I've seen them go and get it when it got loose and stuff. Run away.
But you've never seen them actually take it for a walk?
No. And the dog that.
We had multiple dogs. Elwood, Reap, Boucher, and Velma. Okay. 2 of those are black and white dogs.
They had on leash. The night Summer went missing, they had stole it.
They sold it?
We didn't know where it went.
This is where it gets interesting. He just implied that we had stolen a dog. I guess the night he says there's a dog on a leash the night Summer went missing. There was no dog on a leash, which is part of the issue because the fucking scent dog was trying to fuck around and sniff buttholes of dogs. Alright.
I unmuted it here because I want to give a little bit of commentary here. Do you understand what she just did? This was a big old ass part of speculation. Her dogs were never on leashes. I want you to listen closely to the way she, every day, their family lived. She tells us one dog stays in the house all the time. Okay? That dog is spoiled. She fought for that dog. She saved that dog's life. This dog happens to be a dog that she saved from a dog fighting ring. She shows a picture of somebody. I know who that somebody is. I can't get on here and say it because I've been silenced. You see. She shows a picture of somebody. She gives a name quickly. The name is Steph. That's all she says. I've put 2 and 2 together between speaking to her and running against something the other day I shared in my community post, which we could talk about in a little bit. I just got to be careful how I speak, as does every YouTuber that comes up here. But I've had enough of the shenanigans in the damn games. We have been set and trained to attack Jody Sue Brown. I think people need to realize that. Let me continue this video. Please pay attention to this video. In my eyes, this is important. This is very important right at this moment. With Fred Hill coming out and speaking on Ziggy. Ziggy, respectfully, No attacks. I am requesting that you ask Fred Hill about this dog and about this conversation if you hear this.
Um, obviously, dogs are not on a leash. That was Elwood and Boucher. One dog had to remain tied. That was Reap. Velma stayed inside. Okay, Velma was indoor only. Boucher came and went. Elwood would come and go. Very well behaved dogs. And they were indoor outdoor, but Boucher was always kind of inside the cabin with me, except playtime, running amok a little bit. You go next door, play with the kids, that type of shit, you know. Anyway, now, many a times I'd have to go get Boucher from up near Fred's. Happened a couple times because he was trying to breed Fred's nasty mutt, etc. I was like, oh hell no, so I go up there and get him. Um, that type of shit. Anyway, Boucher, unlike Ziggy told Jill tonight, and I and other locals had a great laugh at her being like, no, my dog is not the puppy of Jody Sue's. It's not. Yeah, it is. Anyway, pictures should show you that. Olive's like, there's no other dog in that holler that looks like that or had blue eyes other than mine. Yes, it is, Ziggy. Alright, carry on. Carry on with this Steph thing.
And the dog that they had on leave.
Making sure y'all heard the name she just said. I mentioned earlier.
The night Summer went missing, they had stole it.
They sold it?
We didn't know where it went. They had stole it.
Stole it?
Yeah.
From who?
Stole it from another resident on it.
Was it a husky?
David Bays.
David Bays?
No, it was a kid.
A pit bull, that brown one?
No, it was a black one.
There was no brown pit bull. There's no brown pit bull. There was a giant black mastiff, but there is no brown pit bull. Alright, there was a black and white one. Oh yeah. And then Fred goes, it was stolen from another resident on Ben Hill. No, not a resident, just he wasn't living in there no more. And he wasn't living there when Velma came to us. Here's what. Right.
Oh,
We found Velma quite a long time before Summer vanished. I have the exact date for that. She came in. Monster was coming in. She came right up to the car. It was piss pouring fucking rain. She was bleeding all over the place. She was jacked up. Her sides were cut. Her legs. It was bad. She was worn the fuck out. She came right into the vehicle. We tried for a few days to find the owner, this and the other. Had our, look, the way this dog was, you knew immediately she was worth money. She was bred. Her ears had been clipped, this and the other.
She'll later tell the story of the
Something
ear.
was up with it. We assumed, rightly so, that someone had gotten her for fighting rings or breeding purposes for the fighting rings. But we're still looking for the owners, right? Now, I doctored her through that night. She came in, you could tell immediately she had been somebody's, like, prized, whatever. She was just total queen of the house immediately. I was like, well, you know. see, we had her for several months already. That was in May of 2020. No.
I feel like the Jeopardy song's playing right now. I'm sorry, guys. I left it all in because I didn't want nobody to say I cut anything. I really, really
All
need
right.
you guys to listen to
This
this.
is we taking her to the vet to get her spayed. That was May 13th, 2020. Anyway, wait for it. It gets so much better.
It does.
They had stole it.
Stole it?
Yeah.
From who?
Stole it from another resident on it.
Was it a husky?
David Bates.
David Bays?
No, yeah, it was a kid.
A pit bull, that brown one?
No, it was a black and white one.
Oh, well,
Notice I make sure to say female. Did you notice that? Black and white, pit, female. Oh, yeah. Now, what Fred just did. Now, Fred and I have had this conversation way back because here's what went down at one point. We had Fred and them stop at the bottom of the driveway and snatch Velma. Okay. And we went down in the holler where we knew they had went with the goddamn dog and raised hell. And there was a denial of the dog being there, and then the dog busted through the fucking door and was like, oh hell no, I'm going back with these people. Okay. It's a holler most normally don't go into starting shit. I started shit. I knew what they were doing. All right. I acquired the dog again immediately because I heard them shut the doors on the driveway. I knew the sound of the vehicle and I knew exactly where the fuck they were going. And I went into the hollow. We all did. And I was like, cough it the fuck up. Right? Now, here's the thing. We took Velma to the vet to have her spayed because, as you hear Fred say, female. Key point, female. We take Velma to the vet to get her spayed. This is where we learn that Velma is chipped. Velma belongs to a woman named Megan. Megan, now there's some shit up, but Velma comes from this top breeder, Florida, Chicago areas. Oh yeah. Also world-renowned chef thing, all this stuff, but he is, oh yeah. If you wanted to seek a dog out worth a fortune, Velma would be it. That's why Monster wanted her so much that he came here and stole her and play as possession of her. It's all he wanted. And dumbass of her doesn't realize he's abusive to animals, and I'm sure she's going to take care of much like Iron Little and Elvis Fur. But anyway, we spayed Velma. It cut down on the bullshit. Then suddenly nobody wanted Velma.
Sorry, I ran to the bathroom. I wanted to give commentary at that point, at that part she just said. Now, do y'all remember the spectacle that went on and on and on about Andy stealing that dog. This is why Andy stole the dog. Okay? They were both in love with this dog. They've gone out of state, they've driven places, they've gotten this dog checked on, they found the right owner, they found out who the breeder was. Like, honestly, guys, ding, ding, ding. Just saying. Like I said in my comment section. Anyways, let's get back to this. I just wanted to point out that when everybody was making a fuss about Andy Bernard stealing this dog, this is the dog they spoke of.
Any longer. Nobody wanted Velma. You know why? Because Velma had been fixed. What good was she then? She wasn't a breeder. Now, when we find out Velma's chipped at the vet, which is not a surprise, they give us name, number, they contact the person, we all contact each other. Oh yeah. I've got Velma's papers still sitting here with me. She is registered. She's signed over to us. At that point, the person, Megan, and her family, after meeting us, we went and met her and the family, this and the other. On the day we were bringing Velma, she shouldn't have been traveling. I was pretty pissed about the whole thing. But we took her to meet them and everything so they could see it. She was all right in this area. But what had happened was Megan, wildly enough, her story included somebody down here having been given Velma. Okay. I'm like, who in the fuck just takes this dog that they took everywhere, baby, did all this shit with? Why in the fuck was it down here in this area? Seems like she was maybe put down here to breed for a fortune. And then was supposed to have maybe gone back to the person. I didn't like that. It's like, no. This shit, she's going to be used for fighting purposes, at least breeders of. The only thing, they didn't seem like actually, it was too much of a put on, but, they didn't want her either after they realized because they were sort of fighting over it until I was like, bitch, we already had her fixed. Even the vet knew that if we fix this dog, it's going to stop all this shit. And it showed. It bore out. So Velma was fixed. All of a sudden, nobody wanted her. And, well, Fred and old Dummy there, who run from the roadblock the night Summer vanished, it's going to stop all this shit. And it showed. It bore out. So Velma was fixed. All of a sudden, nobody wanted her. And, well, Fred and old Dummy there, who run from the roadblock the night Summer vanished, that was coming in to see Fred. Old Dummy there stopped trying to steal her too because she was worthless at that point, other than a trainer dog, which means how they can pick those up anywhere, right? To train the true fighters with. They just use mutts and shit to let the others kill. So there's no use. There's no point in stealing her anymore. But what Fred just did was Fred just put him in the other one. Because, see, the other person told Megan, the true owner of Velma, that, well, they hadn't been honest. They said Velma was still there. But turns out after confronted, they were like, well, she vanished. And see, I could tell the marks on Velma's side and shit were like Rio Grande. You know how they have the two sort of twisty things at the top? The slashes all across Velma were exactly that. Now, at first, we thought on her underbelly and her sides and things and her legs, maybe she had jumped a fence because pets can jump. They do that sort of thing. But my guess is, considering what I know to be true of Fred and this other person and where they kept trying to take Velma,
was that they were probably going around stealing, I don't know, pets to fight, breed, that type of shit, especially nice. Now, Fred and I had this conversation before when he was like, oh no, that dog belongs to so and so. I was like, the fuck it does, bro. I got the paperwork, contacted the legit owner, the middleman, all this other shit. Dog vanished out of the yard. Yeah, that's her statement, and I've got it. I've got the fucking receipts, Fred. Still do. So it would look like you and your homie who ran the roadblock ran away from it the night Summer vanished.
I really hope people are paying attention to this. The person who ran away from the roadblock the night Summer vanished is the same person that sold land to Jackie Dobbs or the family, or there's a whole debacle in that. Again, because of my situation, there's certain things I can't say because I believe they pertain to some things in the Summer Wells case. However, keep paying attention to her. She shows pictures like she has all of the receipts for this. And this is a man who is also on Summer Wells' personal Facebook page that people have been wondering about. I'll tell you what, big smack of insight when Jody Sue finally came out and told this story, because what it did for me was clarify everything I've been looking at has connected. Everything people have laughed at me about, it connects. Pay attention.
We're definitely going around stealing fucking dogs for the fight rings. So thank you, Fred, for fingering you again. Because that's more than you told me before. You just told me that was David's dog. That was it. I was like, no, it ain't. No, it ain't. He wasn't running around with this dog, nor did he have prior, you know. Nah, I'm good. Didn't buy the bullshit. Then argue with Fred over it. He's like, no, it was David. It was David. No, it ain't. Okay. Here's where this shit's gonna get wonky. All right. Here we go. This is Velma. Okay. This is Velma the day I brought her home from having her spayed in the backseat of my soul. Alright. This is Velma at home, all cuddled up with me in the bed, even prior to that. Velma. Velma snoozing on my bed. Alright. Velma. This is who Velma was originally with. They took her 6 states away to have her ears cut.
Make sure everybody gets a good look at that. Go find that photo. Killer looks. This would be one for you.
Okay. So their story never made sense. They were just trading around the breeder. But anyway, this is a picture with her original owner, who she was originally chipped by after they brought her back from having her ears docked and all that other stuff. They took her walking, did all kinds of things with her. Right? She's a very expensive dog. All right. Now, Velma's original name was Rosalind. It's the dumbest name I've ever heard of. So this is the original chipped owner. They wanted to see Velma / Rosalind, make sure she was okay, blah, blah, blah. All right. They wanted to contact the vet again, etc. All these things. We gave them permission to do so. We gave the vet permission. They were like, everything, my nerves are shot. This has been a very upsetting situation. I hope you guys have a nice night too. Give her a kiss for me and tell her I'm so sorry for making the wrong choice for her. And by that, they meant the person that they had placed her with in the area that Fred and his buddies stole her out of the fencing from to use her for rings. Yeah. It is okay. Thank you for letting me know. I figured that was what was happening. It was my battery. And I think we're leaving signal around Walker's Fork the night I was talking to her on the phone for hours. It was wonderful chatting with you as well. I've been laying here wide awake. I don't think sleep will happen tonight. I've been crying since we got off the phone. I'm just rattled from everything. My nerves are shot. Thank you so much for meeting with me. I feel so much better. You guys seem like a wonderful home, and she seemed very content. Thank you again so much for taking her in and treating her so kindly. That's all I wanted for her. She deserves it 100%. I was like, it was a pleasure. I know we were told not to do so, etc. Right? So, there you go. Fred, David, the goddamn chipped owner, swapped her chip information over to us through the vet, through the service, have her goddamn paperwork. She did not in any way belong to you or David. You all stole her for ring fighting. And let's be real, we all know about the chicken and the dogs, don't we? Anyway, this is how much the original owner, I mean, look, they took updates, right? To post online, blah, blah. This was
Cock-a-doodle-doo,
filmed 3
bitches.
weeks, 6 weeks, 9 weeks. Look, this is from her as well. Thank you again for everything. I was so stressed last night, but I think this one was deaf in God's hands, and He helped with this whole process. I'm glad it all worked out. Yes, when I find someone to talk to, my husband is constantly like, oh my God, are you still talking? I'm glad everything worked out for everyone. Yes, I'm going to call it a night as well. I'm exhausted, and my kiddo is screaming, can I play iPad? Can I play iPad? I'm glad she will now have a forever home, and she'll be watched and loved and have all her needs met like she did here. That's all I wanted for her. It is a real blessing to me and gives me a peace of mind. Thank you for letting me check up on her from time to time. And we did continually stay in contact even until we moved from Ben Hill with this woman. So yeah, Fred, not your, not David's. Y'all stole that goddamn dog. And I know exactly who you stole it from. And you stole it for ring fighting purposes and breeding purposes. That's why you mentioned female. Keep fucking around me. Oh, and here it is. May 3rd. And I'm not going to dox her name, so I'm going to expand the screen. This is us talking to her again. We should be pulling in less than 10. We are having to take it a bit easier than the speed limit because near the speed limit was bothering her quite a bit. The vet recommended we not meet or have her travel at all, but we all agreed it may be best so you guys know she's okay and has the home you wanted for her when we're homing her last year, even if the first time didn't go well. Plus, it will make us feel a bit better about it as well. See you shortly. See? Fred, David, dog was goddamn rehomed and y'all stole her. That's why she had all those goddamn marks over being drug over fucking Rio Grande goddamn fence and then immediately escaped from y'all into the fucking rain and exhausted running amok. And then I patched her up, and then we found the true owners through chips at a vet, and then they signed her over to us, and I have the goddamn paperwork. So, yeah, buddy, I don't know. You know, once again, thank you for meeting us. The law has the home we wanted for her. Yeah. So, I don't know. And I've got the messages and the exact date that you and David tried to steal her back, and I went into the fucking holler and what kind of shit that set off to. Carry on with me some more, homie. Alright. So there's that. Oh, wait. Just so y'all don't think I'm full of shit in here.
And when you think it's over, she has more.
Same woman. Same woman on an actual cell phone the messages come into, not just screenshots on my phone. Same woman, same fucking messages, right? And as you can see, these roll in real time, therefore nobody can be like, you made this shit up, you doctored the fucking messages, they're not real. Yeah? Yeah? Yeah, motherfuckers? Seriously? Huh? Alright. So they want to, oh, and there it is. There are pictures of Velma sleeping with Monster under the covers. Bless its spoiled little fucking heart. You know what, Schmutton? Bleeding and dying in the fucking rain are going to be used to breed or fight. That's what Schmutton. Motherfuckers. Try me, ho. This is who she was. Look. This is who she was placed with. They stole her from. Would you like me to contact them too? I'm sure they have their own receipts. This is her on their couch being a spoiled princess. You know, the place she stole her from. And part of the rehoming thing had to do with those people going to have another baby. And Velma required much attention. This is them, their children with Velma. Velma has always been a spoiled brat. Okay. We sent her pictures. We were taking of Velma back and forth, you know, all these things. Velma birthday pictures. Yeah. So, I don't know. Fred, it would seem like that dog did not belong to you, thievy dog fighter, chicken fighter motherfuckers. Seems like you wanted her though, because female.
So, yes, I just wrote that. I didn't realize we were at the end of this video. Yes, Lady R. Someone who loves animals that much, in my opinion, cannot be capable of harming a child. I'm just saying. And to be honest with you, I get that same vibe from Candace. I don't know why, but I do. The way she was with Crooked Cop over there, when she picked that kitten up, I seen a different side of Candace, and it's things like that that lead me to believe that she can't be guilty of something neither. Those are things you look at. Look, I told you guys I went through a murder trial with my brother, and part of the reason he got time, and maybe I'll tell the whole story of that one day. I'll just be attacked right now if I do. And I'm sure Benny and Tiffany are out there searching for everything about my brother right now, you know. But part of his adjudication and being deciding, not being, deciding his punishment and whether he would be adjudicated as a child or as an adult depended on his lifestyle. They looked at things like animals. They do a big investigation before adjudicating someone, the attorneys do. You know, they go back and forth. So, one of the things they look at is, was this person mean to animals? Pay attention to a lot of trials with the school pewers. You know what I mean? Because you'll hear a lot of them question, and you will find out a lot of times in situations like that that person was cruel to animals. If you know what I'm saying, in my opinion, from things I watch. So, in my opinion, just if I was just basing it off of the way I've seen these humans interact with animals, I don't think Candace and Jody Sue could be capable. I'm giving my honest opinion when you think about it. Um, you know, it's complicated. The things they look at mentally when they're deciding to charge someone, or you know, what will stand in trial, what won't. In my opinion, Chris McDonough came in and he messed up a lot of stuff, and a lot of stuff that now comes out will not be provable. I don't think this case will ever be solved because of Chris McDonough's insertion into this case. He's a cop. He knows. He knows the law. He's arrested people. He's questioned people. He's gone to trial as a cop to testify against people. I don't know why he did this. I will tell you that I think it extends farther. Like I said, I can't tell you why. Only Jody can do that. And only the people involved can do that at this moment, because anybody who speaks out will be threatened to be sued. That's my opinion. And it's been very hard for me to speak my opinion for a very long time because of it. So I'm trying to come up with ways as more people come out and talk. Fred coming out and talking has kind of been amazing. Because like Jody Sue said, it's Fred on Fred crime. That's all I have to say about that. I want to go over some of the stuff Fred has said. I have all of the old stuff I found. I have it all. I have all of the first interview Ziggy did, the one she put out with music behind her. Hopefully she won't strike me. Hopefully we can have an educated debate over it. If she wants to attack me about it, fine, just do it educatedly, is what I'm saying. Please don't strike me, because I'm asking for permission to share your content. I would like to go over for every Fred conversation with you again. I know you've gone over it, but your subs seem to think that Fred's completely innocent in everything. One of the reasons I refrained from speaking about Fred is because he has been let's think about this. Something I posted earlier in my community post was who were the people that have been out and spoken that wore wires? Who are the people that are out and spoken that Dawn went to the day of and the days after Summer disappearing? There's a reason Dawn went to those people. And it just so happens that all of these people connect to each other, and we're all friends of Dawn's and Candace's. I think that's important. Lady R, I don't. I have reservations about that. I don't know. Do I think Dudley's a Dudley do right? Yeah. Um, I've looked at Dudley's past. Yeah, there's questionable stuff. I don't know. My mind ain't made up on that, so I don't want to give too much on that. There's times I like Dudley and then there's times I not. Here's what I'll say about that. Cock-a-doodle doo. Go watch some of my shorts. I have the short of Dudley and Dawn. That might help. I can't really say much. Fred has another side. Just look at his rap sheet. Hattie. It is way more than just another side. Like the whole incident that happened in Virginia, it was bad. Like I can't even explain and I can't prove it because I can't find these papers again. But at the beginning of Summer's case, I happened upon and they've disappeared offline, right? This is before they were on the Virginia court, Supreme Court findings or something. Maybe I'm just not looking in the right place because I didn't pay much attention to it back then. Fred's name had just come up and I paid attention to it, but I didn't save it. I wasn't a YouTuber yet, you know? So something had come up and it showed me like an appeal or something Fred filed in that case. And I read it. It had a lot of detail about what happened in Virginia. I don't want to give too much commentary on it because I can't find it. So I can't prove what it said. You know what I'm saying? But in my opinion, from what I read, Fred's got some really bad mental issues. That day was not a fun day. If you think they took Fred's kids because of the exact incident, yeah, he did time. He pled guilty, but this was a whole family event that happened. I don't think people were paying attention to that. Like Ziggy's over there attacking his sisters, and I don't know what kind of people his sisters are. But I will tell you, when you listen to the whole story over and Fred explains it, like, man, excuse me, 1 second. Sorry. If I can find these papers, I'm going to ask those of you that research, go look as hard and far as you can for every court legal proceeding. I had called last week and asked them how I get a, damn it, what do you call it? Where you can get the court papers, you pay for them. I asked them how I could do that in that state, and they never called me back. They were supposed to call me back. So I'm speaking of this tonight, and it just reminded me I'll try again tomorrow to see if I could get it, because I'd really like to get some police reports on that or something. There got to be something out there. Maybe Ziggy can do it since she's defending him so closely, and she does all this fancy stuff. Ziggy, why don't you go to Virginia and get everything you can about that case there, because I think people need to look into that to get a broader perspective of Fred's past and Fred's mind, his mindset, and how he thinks. Hattie, no, I hate to report it, but Andrew reported that Allison had taken a turn for the worse on his community post. It's sad. Please pray for Allie and Hunter and True and Bear and all of them. I think they all need a lot of prayers right now. And you know what? I'm even going to go as far as saying pray for Andrew too, because He has to be there for Hunter, and he has to learn. Andrew, dude, I'm sorry, man. You need to learn to mature a little bit. Like, it's okay to talk about things, but the way you speak, you should be. Another word of advice I would give you right now, and to Hunter, and I don't mean this rudely, please watch the Savannah Soto case right now. I do want to do commentary on Hunter and all of that stuff. I don't think they had anything to do with Summer going missing, in my opinion. I think it's too grandiose of thinking. I just, do I think some people make poor choices? Absolutely. But like I posted again in a community, I went crazy today, guys. I'm sorry. Like I posted again today in my community post, you know, when you're looking at certain things on a stand, and Chris McDonough knows this too. So that's what I mean about pushing a narrative. Again, having experience going through a court trial with a teenager that was accused of doing bad things. Okay. Chris McDonough knows he can't be out there questioning Hunter, and the way this man's operating, it doesn't make sense to me. Seems like a money grab, and maybe even something bigger. Bitcoin. I don't know. Is Fred and Laura still together? Innocent, I don't know. I really haven't been paying attention to Ziggy because I don't give a shit about the 6-Up and shit like that. That's her problem, and that's what she's been covering. I sort of just watch Ziggy when she's covering Fred, pretty much, or Dawn, or something like that. So I've been sort of out of the loop for the last few days because I don't give a shit about their drama. She has grandbabies coming from, yes, Lady or twins. I hope and pray she gets to hold her grandbabies too. Maybe if we all send enough up or good thoughts. I'm not a super religious person. I don't not believe. I just don't really do religion all that much. I pray, you know. So if you're a praying person, send one up. If you're a person that has another way of going about it, or just keep these people in your thoughts, man. They've been a big part of Summer's case. And in my opinion, to watch Hunter come up on Andrew's panel yesterday, it was big. I could tell, in my opinion, I think Hunter did ask to come up there. Chris McDonough and Josh were saying, oh, Hunter didn't do that. Hunter didn't do that. Like, man, I couldn't even stomach to watch their whole thing. They were blaming Andrew for it, but I believe that Hunter was having an outlet. He was having a bad day. His mother's sick. He had Benny Keys and Tiffany Marie attacking him online. He's a teenager with ADHD. He's been through a hell of a lot. He's 17. He has the pressure of having babies. Not one, but two. Imagine that. He has the whole world watching him just because he was with Candace up till what he says is 3:30. Yes, there's some discrepancies in his not only demeanor, like the way he acted then towards the way he acted last night. He seemed more relaxed, not pressured. It's been 2 years. He's had time to think and process. He's been locked up. He's been in homes. What they're doing to him is completely insane. It's insane. Like, who does that shit? Could you imagine your mother's dying and people are attacking you? No matter what the situation is, the police haven't arrested nobody. We watched this young man grow up. Do we all agree he's making the best choices? Fuck no. Fuck no. I believe Hunter still has a lot of growing up to do. And I hope one day that will happen for him. However, do I think he's guilty of anything to do with Summer? No. No, I don't. I think the thought of all of the things that Chris McDonough has done, including putting Jose on his channel, has caused a lot of speculation. Justin for All, another one. And now Jose's not even here. He's dead. We don't know why. Truthfully, that's none of our business. Andrew, I think you're a fucking bullshitter. I think you come out and you make stories up. The Alaska, the this, the that. You gave everybody so much intrigue for Jose. Dude. This story of Summer Wells is no longer Summer's story. It's Andrew's story. It's Jody Sue's story. It's Chris McDonough's story. It is my story. Now, these are things that have harmed my personal life. I have strangers knocking on my door trying to serve me court papers when I'm not home and my grandbabies are here. People I think are truck drivers from my area. Like I've said in the past, there's a lot of car dealerships, truck drivers, marathon stations. Hell, I can even go back and connect this all the way back to NASCAR. That's how far my mind's going. And I still see that as a theory. Honestly, in my opinion, with speculation. Maybe one day we'll talk about it. I'm sure I'll be sued for that one. Let me read some comments. I'm sorry. I can't chew gum and walk at the same time I'm talking. And I was really, really nervous tonight coming up here to talk about this because I am fearful of what may happen if I speak my theories. Right now, I have an issue with Chris McDonough. I have many reasons for those feelings that I have. I really think people need to pay attention to what Trevor's reporting on right now, too. Even though he's very close to Chris McDonough and Josh. Ain't it funny how they just, threw him on? And they're not really talking about the same thing that he is? Trevor, I ask you to, go slow. Because I think Trevor's on to something. Only because of things I know that I can't speak upon. I've never liked CM. Yeah. No, he got a problem. He makes it so that you can't look at this case with a unbiased opinion. You know what I mean? Like he goes for the jugular and he does it quickly. He didn't like what Dawn said. He went after Dawn. Like there are other suspects in this area. And I seen somebody say earlier, oh, I thought it was about the land. No, that's grandiose thinking. However, two neighbors that live on land next to each other or have land next to each other that have a dispute that may want the people we've been accusing of off of or out of the area so that they can continue their illegal doings because somebody put a wrench in it by finding an abused animal and taking care of it. Like, let's think about these things. Why is this man on Summer's Facebook page? I hope someday somebody will ask Candace and Dawn that. I hope now that Jody Sue has brought this to light that these are people that people will look at. Am I saying they are 100% guilty? No. But what I'm saying is that it connects to Fred. And then all these people other than this man that lived on the Dobbs property or owned or has family or that is also related to Andy Bernard and don't like Jody Sue and there's a past. She's thrown a fit about selling off the land. Like, it's just common sense things that make sense. I don't know. Why is this grown ass man that doesn't go to church with Summer, doesn't go to school? I don't. Why is he on Summer's Facebook page? Yes, innocent. Pay attention to my Dudley video with Dawn. You know, it was public. They spoke about this, and then I spoke to another person that told me something that I can't come forward with. But pay attention to that short, because some of these people that I can't speak upon because I have a threat of court, speculating could play a role. It's just so much. It's so much I am stopped at this moment from saying that leads me to believe certain things. Oh, back to the chat. Sorry. Hold on, guys. I'm going to mute for 1 minute. My throat, I got like a frog in it. Okay. I am back. Let's scroll up a little bit. They've honed into the wills, and that's it in their eyes. Yes, innocent until proven guilty. And I'm not saying Dawn and Candace are innocent, because I'm going to be 100% honest with you. And this is me just giving my opinion unbiasedly with shit that doesn't even have to do. I mean, it does have to do with Summer, but it has to do with their way of living. Like Hunter said, he's never seen them dirty. Well, you know what? Hunter grew up under them same experiences as Summer did. Okay, with parents that didn't know what it was like to constantly keep their children clean. But with that being said, there's a lot of families out there like that can't afford things. And even if they can't afford things, they don't have the brain power to know right from wrong. Okay? They've never been taught. Their past prior experiences have been that of SA, generational abuse, things that shouldn't be made public, that keep the police and their investigators from a clear picture of what they're dealing with. You know, the mind, the IQ, the things like that. Like, law enforcement uses those tools to determine whether somebody is guilty or not guilty of a crime. The fact that they have not arrested Dawn and Candace 2.5 years later speaks volumes. And I feel like Chris McDonough is butt-ass hurt over it and continues to attack when it's time to move on and look at some of these other people that they were involved in, or people that might have motive, or people that were angry or enemies or party goers or people that hung out together. Everybody's stuck on this little kid. Or people not paying attention to the fact that Allie and Candace had not really been, first of all, they hadn't been friends prior to Sherry and Candace going. Sherry and Allison had a huge fight because because Sherry went out to dinner with Candace. I can see that. Okay? You could see that from their Facebook posts. These people were fighting because Allie was accusing Candace of doing Jose. Dawn had just fucking cheated on Candace a few years prior. So Candace is still already going through it with her husband. Their daughter goes missing. They have CYF involvement constantly in their lives. They're not great parents. Okay? And the same, in my opinion, this is my opinion, they are not great parents, but nobody on this earth is perfect. And just because they aren't great parents doesn't mean that they harmed their child. That's just my opinion from the outside looking in And again, from my own life experiences. Okay? Drugs take over, things take over, and I have personally gone outside of the boundaries of Summer Wells and looked at a lot of these other people that surround them. I have questioned a lot of these other people surrounding them. People I have suspected, I have spoken to, even when I was scared to talk to them. I've made friends with people that have involved themselves in this case. I've listened to what they had to say and I've compared it to words. And when I listen to something very meticulously and I pick up on every word because it's important to Summer's case. People are accusing Jody Sue. They forced her to come out and incriminate herself. She's probably not a witness now, and she knows that. She said it. But people were so concerned about making fun of her voice being drunk, and she was concerned about defending herself, which any human would want to do, right? Think about it. But in a lot of this case, Jody Sue's just so hateful sometimes. My opinion. I'm giving my honest opinion. She's hateful. I said in my last live, she doesn't want to make friends. She says things like, nobody will listen to me. Nobody listen to me. And when they try to listen to her, she thinks they're attacking her when they ask her a question. I do believe Jody Sue Brown to be truthful. Something else I want to say. Ryan finds truth. Jody Sue, don't attack that dude, yo. Not because he's searching, not because of anything, but because what he did was prove you correctly. He went to Andy's boss. He spoke to Andy's boss. And do you know what that did? No matter how much Chris tries to push the narrative, what that did was help you. Because Andy's boss confirmed with the world that Andy was at work that day. I believe you. I believe there's a setup in place. I believe Fred didn't see Andy, but seen somebody else. Just my opinion. People don't understand why I've defended Jody Sue. It's because I see other people around them that are connected. Jody Sue wasn't up at their house hanging out. Andy was. Could it be this was an enemy of Andy and Dawn? We've heard Dawn say, Andy was my friend, not Candace's. Maybe Andy's ashamed to come out and say, hey, yeah, I was pretty close to Dawn and we did this together and that together. To me, it sounds like Andy was falling down the trail of addiction. Him and Jody Sue weren't. I mean, this is just my opinions. I'm looking at this with what I think and I believe is an educated opinion. Open eyes. Like, I don't know. My whole mind has changed about this case, especially after listening tonight to me and Jody Sue's conversation over again, that I've never even listened to the whole damn thing. Innocent, it could be. It could be that Dawn and Andy did something together to somebody that pissed somebody off. Jody Sue said the other night nobody paid attention to the peeping Tom. This person could have very well been around for a very long time. There could be far more many crimes that this person could have done. Chris has never left that hill because he hasn't wanted to left the hill. He's been mad since Dawn said he wasn't in a shed. What a stupid ass fucking thing. First of all, Chris wasn't there as a cop. He was there and he was pretending to be Candace's friend. Okay? He acted like somebody said earlier in there, oh, who's to judge you? Right? And then he turned around and judged her. And he caused more problems in the family that's already dysfunctional on Dawn's side of the family, that already has problems, that should be dealing with that shit privately, not publicly. with Chris McDonough bringing it out the light, it threw a wrench thoughts, discrepancies. It took this case in a whole nother place. It led Dawn to come online and defend himself while incriminating himself in Summer's case, or making it sound like he's incriminating himself and not giving people a fair shake at looking at what's going on. There's no unbiased since Chris McDonough came in here. I'm going to tell you what, I've said this before just recently in one of my more recent lives. I felt Candace was honest with Chris McDonough the day they did that interview. My feelings flip-flopped, changed, and that's because I was following what other people said. I've taken a step back, quit watching certain things for a while. Went back, rewatched a lot of it while I was on break. Followed what went with what I was watching still today. All right. We can talk about that soon. I'm not ready right now to talk to people, Lady R. Please don't take that personal. At this moment, while I'm bringing all this stuff out, and I mentioned it earlier, I've been ignoring some messages and stuff on Facebook and not really going on Facebook because I'm determined this time to get out my thoughts. Things I've experienced during the last 2 years, things I've been unable to say, how I feel, why I feel, who I feel. You know, like I've gone through a lot. 2 lawsuits. Come on, guys. I'm exhausted. I ain't even got shit. Like, ask the person that came here to serve me last time what my house looked like. In all honesty. And I'm not here for tragedy pimping. I don't have this monetized. I might monetize things here and there, but I ain't made a penny because I can't even make the damn $100 mark. And I'm not asking for money. I don't want money. I hope. Hold on. Let me go look at my. Hold on, guys. Hold on, guys. I don't know why that money thing's on. I didn't turn my monetization on. Maybe I had to turn it off. I didn't mean for that to be there because I don't want people to think that that's what I'm here for. Now, do I plan on trying one day to make money? Hell yeah, because that's what I'm here for. I don't have a problem with. Oh my God, I did that all with yous watching. Let me remove that. I can come here and say that's what I'm here for. My ass is broke. You know what I mean? I wouldn't be here if I wasn't trying to make money, but I don't want a tragedy pimp. I want to do it because I'm bringing information and reporting correctly. And I don't even want to just cover Summer's case. Like, I would love to talk about this Gypsy Road Blanchard shit right now. I want to have fun when I talk to you guys. I do want to cover Summer till the end. But I want to do other things on my channel. And that's hard to do when nobody's paying attention to me because of all the rumors and shit that's been said and the way I've been led to look like I'm crazy. You know what I mean? Like, these things really happen to me. Interesting enough, Mr. Bays isn't a friend on that Facebook page now. I just looked, I'd like to know when he disappeared. When's the last time somebody looked? Damn, I should have looked while I was covering this. I don't know. I'm just confused by everything. And I think the one thing people need to hone in on is the fact that Fred did go to jail. They did arrest him for drugs. He is speaking. He has tried to lie. He's covered up them lies. Other things come out. We find out who's friends with who. You know, I think it's important to follow who Candace and Dawn's real friends were because I don't think that Allie was it. Not at that moment. I believe Allie and Candace were close at one time, and I believe, you know, we all have friendships and they fall out. And I think that's what happened. And I think it was a lot over jealousy. You know, we are being watched always. Have that in the back of your mind. I know, innocent. I know. And I've turned everything in. Like, don't think I don't. But I only turn in things that I feel. Listen, I used to turn everything in, and I'm going to tell you why. Because I was being forced to. And I was nervous, so nervous that I wasn't even paying attention to what people were saying to me. And I was sending shit the wrong email addresses. And then when I showed that, somebody went out and twisted it and did all kinds of shit. And I actually did send it to TBI after that. You know, and I'm hoping that that's a tip that led somewhere, like these people that were friends with Dawn and this, that, and the other. Do I think the people I included in that are involved in anything? No, not at all. But it connects, and it connected for me a long time ago. Some of it, not all of it. Oh, yeah, I was going to get off of here, but no. Actually, I am going to get off of here. We'll cover it soon. We'll cover that next time. This pill guy. I posted some things in my community post. Go check this out. This man changed the color of, and this is who Jody Sue mentioned his wife in the video I made that I just showed Jins, who has ties. We'll just say has ties to what we've been talking about tonight. Okay. And yeah, it's worth watching him. That's all I gotta say. He tells a story we've never heard before about Candace and Dawn being a mile and a half away in the backwoods, and Candace was seen coming out of the woods. To be honest with you, when I was listening to it, it sounded a lot like it mimicked one of Fred's stories, except for it wasn't Fred's yard. That caught my attention. This man also, instead of saying red Toyota Tacoma that was in the area that day, said it was a black Ford Ranger picking up a car part on Ben Hill Road, implicating Fred. And this was last year, last July. That same day, the horse ran in front of the news cameras. That same man did a news interview on the news about Summer. I'm still looking for it. I have it. Somebody gave me the date for it the other day. I have to look harder for it because I got distracted when I was looking at it with something that led me to what I'm thinking today. Yeah, I think so too, innocent. I think they've been watching these people, and I think that if Chris McDonough did what I'm speculating and giving my opinion on what I think he did, it causes a wrench into the investigation. And now they got to clear shit. People saying PG lives in Tennessee. I don't think so. I think PG doesn't have a Tennessee accent. To be honest with you, I feel like she's from Ohio. I feel like she got an Ohio accent. I hope so every single day too, Lady R. Katie, and see, you guys are doing great stuff on these channels. Meanwhile, Swear Crazy gets 700 watching. I know. That's how it'll always be, and that's because the narrative was drawn that way. You know? A lot of things got blown out of proportion in Summer's case, and it's kind of disgusting to think about it, that you can't even have a normal conversation with somebody about Summer's case that is a creator on this channel, on these streets, not channel. Because then you're accused of being a supporter of this one and that one and this one. No. What people don't understand is that I was really out there trying to figure out what the fuck happened here, because things I were finding and hearing in my mind didn't sound right, like the resurrection and the people who were connected and saying, no, we don't know each other. The fuck you don't. You're all related and you live on the same damn area, the same land. How can you not know your neighbors that you're related to? Get the hell out of here with that bullshit. I mean, come on, you guys got to agree with that, right? And then you got stories. Okay, I implore you to look at the Dobbs property. Look back 15 years, 9 years, 12 years. These are things that Chris McDonough obviously didn't research. Things that tell you how people in this area live. People that are connected to, man, oh my God, it's so hard. It's so hard to come on here and tell you guys all of my thoughts and not be able to. I don't want to give names. Yeah, Lady R. I really like this channel. Thank you, Trudy. And the other gold properties, very interesting. See, I didn't get into all of the, yeah, you're right. What was sold off, what was, I guess I did. What was sold off, what wasn't, who spoke out since Summer's gone missing, who said what. People miss parts of things. Like, for instance, in my last live, I had mentioned behind Dawn and Candace's house, a man that bought property back there with a sick mother, who I still to this day thought for the long, well, not, you know what, I'm not even going to bring that up. Anyways, this man did an interview, and it seems a lot of people didn't pay attention to it, but he had said, I bought the property from Dawn. Like, nobody knew that. People didn't know he sold off 2 lots of land prior to Summer going missing and him going to Utah. But people knew it was on Zillow. I've heard that talked about. Well, but people didn't know is when he took it off, he sold 2 plots of land. Like, you have to do your homework to look at this. They're looking at his mother. Come on, man. His mother died how many years ago? How is this lady going to come back from the grave and do something to her grandchild? Or have involvement in it? Like, just a lot of shit. People lead the way and people listen and follow, and it just doesn't make sense. Other things do make sense. That's a whole other topic. But yep, no, Lady R, I don't think it is another topic. I don't. I think I personally think at this moment, people wanted Jody Sue out of the area. Okay? That's my thought. That's me speculating. That's my opinion. I think that could probably have something to do with it. Jody Sue was on Facebook. She was talking. She was pissed. She didn't want this land to sell. She had problems with the people that were selling the land at that moment, so she was going to make everything hard for them. And I don't blame her. You know? That's okay. I meant I didn't want to switch from the Dobbs property to the guard prop. Oh, yeah. Yeah, not on the topic. Good property. Good. Yep. But it does go together. It all coincides. You know? And in my last live, we had spoken about the fight and stuff at the bottom of that hill. I believe it was these people. Or had something to do with them. Okay, guys, but I got a lot out tonight. I'm going to prepare for another live. I'm going to try to start being a lot more regular and speaking my thoughts. I hope this gets out. I hope you guys share it. I hope you show people Jody Sue's portion of that video. I hope you guys start paying better attention and understanding what's going on without confusion. And just, I'm asking you, I'm not asking you to agree with me, but I'm asking you to look at this with open eyes, knowing everything we know today that has happened, to look at this with open eyes. That's all I'm saying. I think the attacks need to quit. All right, guys. Take care. Until next time. Bye.